Okay. Time to start episode 11. Episode 11? Are you for real? Oh. Episode 11? Come on. That's crazy, people. What the hell are y'all doing here? Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Incense for the day is lit. Time to take a drink. Today I'm not drinking coffee. I'm drinking a smoothie. And I'll tell you what, this smoothie is fucking good. Would you like to know the recipe? Sure, I'll share it with you. So we have raspberry, we have blackberry, and we have blueberry, all having a nice little powwow in this smoothie. And is that? No, it's fine. We got raspberry, blackberry, and blueberry. We have cranberry ice cube. We have honey, and we have yogurt. And this shit is so tasty. Only thing is, I'm gonna have seeds in my mouth for the next 4 days, even with brushing my teeth, because I do that. I do brush my teeth. Contrary to popular belief, I do brush my teeth. Damn, that shit's tasty. All right. Okay. Let me close out of my Juno Birch video. Because I have been binge watching Juno Birch playing The Sims again. I'm now realizing that drinking the smoothie while filming the episode might be problematic because I'm going to be chewing on the seeds the entire time when they're in my mouth. But you guys are just going to have to put up with it, I guess. What do you want from me? Okay, I'm ready now. Welcome back to Things That Go Bump. This is episode 11 of my Goosebumps review podcast. Yay! Episode 11. Oh my god. Oh my god. Episode 11. We did it. I don't know, y'all. I'm feeling kind of weird today. I am very relaxed. We're going to have a nice chill day because you know why? It's because this room that I am filming in, my bedroom, is so ungodly hot today. And I'm so overheated right now. If you can hear the box fan blowing on my body, I'm sorry about it. Get over it. If I turn that thing off, I'm going to have a freak out. And the thing is, if I get too high energy today, I'm also going to have a freak out because when I get hot, I get very angry. And when I get angry, it's not good for anyone involved. And that's that. So we're going to have a nice chill day. We're going to be relaxed. We're just going to have a good time. Okay. Is that all right with you guys? Because if you're in for a good chill vibe day, you better strap in right now because I said so. Okay. So, let's just start with some brief housekeeping. I mentioned last week, who the fuck am I kidding? The last episode came out a month ago. I mentioned in the last episode that I was reading The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I have finished that book since, and I wouldn't say disappointed. It was pretty much what I was expecting, but a little more lackluster. I could not give a fuck less about President Snow. So that book was really painful for me to read. I didn't care about anything that happened to him. And it was so long. It was so long. And, you know, after the main event, I wasn't expecting there to be another 200 pages left in the book. But, you know, whatever. It was not my favorite. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars, I think. Definitely not my favorite Hunger Games book. And honestly, I'm going to say this, and this is very controversial but brave. If I were fresh to the Hunger Games saga, and I started with the prequel instead of the first of the trilogy, I probably wouldn't have read all the books. I'm saying that now. Hot take. Am I right? Hot take on that book. But she just did not live up to it, honey. I don't know. Wasn't my favorite. I'm now reading another book called What If It's Us. It's by Adam Silvera. love him. And Becky Albertalli, I think her name is. She wrote the book that Love, Simon is based on. And Adam Silvera wrote They Both Die at the End, which I have a tattoo from. It wasn't one of my favorite books, but I did get a tattoo from the book cover. And he also wrote History Is All You Left Me, which is one of my favorite books. That book ripped out my whole heart and soul, stepped on it, and then just like didn't put them back in my body, but just like handed them to me on like not even a silver platter, just like a dirty, rusty platter. That book really destroyed me permanently. I'm still healing from the effects of that book that I read almost 2 years ago now. But anyways, What If It's Us is a really cute book. If you like, I'm a little over halfway through it now, and it's pretty good. If you are looking for a romance about gay people that is not at all set in any realm of like a reality that could actually take place in the real world, then you should read it, because it's a very cute, like, it's like a fucking Hallmark movie about gay people in a book. It's so good. It's so good. And it's such a fast read. I've been flying through this book. And considering how much I read, that's saying a lot, because it's not very often. But I'm getting through this book real quick. This book is just so cute. It's so cute, but it's so cringy. But what I like about it is that it acknowledges that it is cringy. There will be moments where the characters are like, that was cringy. And I say, yeah, it was. It sure was, Arthur. That was very cringy, Benjamin. They're so cute. It makes me kick my little feet and do a little like giggle when I'm reading it. I'm like, it's so cute. I love gay people. Anyways, so yeah, that book is good. I'll let you know what I think about it by the end of it. I'm pretty sure there's a sequel to it that I don't think I'm going to read. But I'll let you know what I think about it when I finish it, hopefully by the next episode. Oh shoot, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about. What was it? Oh shoot. I was going to tell you about one more thing, and you know, I just can't. It's just not in my brain right now, and I didn't add it to my list. Oh, Jesus, I remember. If y'all would like a little life update about myself, quit my job again. Go Xavier, am I right? So I made some big life decisions, you could say, and okay, this is so crazy because the basis of this entire podcast, the base of my original like TikTok series for Things That Go Bump for my Goosebumps reviews is that I'm a college English major dropout who is reviewing these books. But I've made some big life decisions recently, people, and I'm here to announce to you that, drum roll please, I think I'm going to go back to college. Please don't yell at me. I know, girl. I hear you. I don't want to. I mean, I kind of do. Listen. Here's the thing. I want to. Oh my God. I just want to, okay? I've found a new thing that I think I might be passionate about that I want to give a shot. Oh, Siri, shut the fuck up. Get out of here. Now you're going to work, bitch? You stupid whore. Get off my screen. Siri, go away.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Go away.
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh! Siri, fuck off.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
I'm having trouble. Here, there's the little X. Oh my God. The one time Siri works for me, and it's in the most annoying, inconvenient time. Whatever. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, I found something I think I might be passionate about that I want to try, and to do that I need to go back to school. So I might be going back to school. I'm just gonna be doing like online asynchronous school. I'm not gonna like move to a campus or some shit because I'm almost 24 years old. I'm not doing all that. So yeah, I might be going back to school. I applied to one that I really, really want to get into, and I am still waiting to hear back from them because they have yet to get my college transcripts. So if you're my old college, give them my fucking transcript, please. Anyways, yeah, so I am going back to college. Yay. All right, so now this will be now this will be a Goosebumps review podcast from a college-educated individual, which I think makes it even better. I'm not going to lie to you. I think that makes it significantly better. I'm not going to be studying English, though, so whatever. Fucking English degree. Oh, my God. That's funny as fuck. Okay. The last matter of business. This is taking a very long time. I'm so sorry. I realized I should have done this last time, but now that we're in episode 11, we've read 10 of the Goosebumps books and have rated them. And I realized that I never do like a recap of those ratings. Now that we're 10 in, I would just like to, especially for my audio listeners who don't get to see the visuals that I put on the screen every week. Why? I am just living in complete Delulu land every episode, not week. So I want to take a minute before we review this 11th book to just go through where the ratings are at in general. Okay, so we're gonna just go through what's in 1st through 10th place right now. So in 10th place, we have It Came From Beneath the Sink, that horrible evil sponge. I will never forget it. In 9th place, we have Ghost Beach with the stupid fucking kids who are getting tricked by ghost children. That book was weird. Number 8, we have The Haunted Mask, Carly Beth, dumb whore. In 7th place, we have Beware the Snowman. Why is that so low? That's kind of disappointing. I really liked that one. Number 6, we have Phantom of the Auditorium. Oh, that should be in first, bitch. That book was, it was so juicy and delicious. We have number 5, Beast from the East. That was a pretty decent one, too. Number 4, Welcome to Dead House, the first in the entire franchise. That's a classic. It makes sense that it's rated pretty high up there. In 3rd place, we have Vampire Breath. That one, iconic, a classic. Children getting kidnapped by vampires. Everything. Number 2, 2nd place, we have Deep Trouble. The one about the kid out on like the pontoons with his, or no, what was it? The dinghy? On the dinghy in the boat with his sister and his uncle and someone else, and they're looking for mermaids and stuff. Okay, and then number 1, 1st place, we have Stay Out of the Basement. That one was so good. That one was so iconic, about the girl and her brother, and their dad is like a plant, turning into a plant, and he works in the basement all the time. Oh, that one was great. That one was fantastic. Awesome. So that's the rating of the Goosebumps books as we have them before we get into the book of today's episode. Let's do it. Today we are talking about number 55 in the Goosebumps series, The Blob That Ate Everyone. The Blob That Ate Everyone down, hunty sis queen. So here's the thing. I remember reading this one as a kid, and I remember really liking it, and it lived up to what I remember from it, bitch. Okay. So a good synopsis of this book. I want to try and make this a little bit shorter, so let's see what I can do here. So this book is about a kid named Zackie who wants to be a writer, and he writes scary stories, and he finds this typewriter that he's able to write stories on that he believes are actually coming to life, and some of his stories are about blob monsters. I think that's a good general synopsis of the book. Right. Okay. So the book opens with a story that Zackie's writing that he's sharing with his friends. In his monologue or dialogue, whatever, internal monologue, he shares a passage that I was particularly fond of, because he talks about how he and his friends have difficult names. Apparently their names are Zackie. Okay, I want to spell this kid's name for you and see how you think it's pronounced, because I was wrong, and it gives the pronunciation in the book. So his last name is spelled Beauchamp. I was thinking like Beauchamp or something like that. No, his pronunciation, he says it's pronounced Beecham. So in what world? In what fucking world is that how you would pronounce that last name? I don't know. R.L. Stine, I think you made that up. And his friend is named Alex LaRocci. LaRocci? LaRocci, I think. LAROCCI. But anyways, they do have difficult names. I can't even pronounce them. And as someone with a difficult name themselves, that I completely felt for these kids. Their lives must be pretty difficult. I know that they cannot be very easy. So yeah, the book starts with like Zackie sharing the story with his friends. There's another kid named Adam who's a dick. And they're like, Zackie and Alex are going home, and we see a repeat of the theme of breaking and entering in the Goosebumps series in this book, which is crazy. Alex and Zackie walk by this antique store that has like been struck by lightning and burned down. We're really just repeating themes of that breaking and entering there. We saw that in the Phantom of the Auditorium. These are the kids that I like to read about in the Goosebumps books, the ones that want to discover forbidden circumstances, if you will. We'll say forbidden circumstances, yeah. Oh, also, so they break into this antique store, and one thing it says they see are masks on a wall, like old creepy masks that are all facing one direction. I thought of One Direction and almost started singing the fucking Big Time Rush theme song. Not a One Direction song. Anyways, so yeah, they see all these masks on the wall, and I thought maybe there was some sort of Goosebumps universe crossover happening here, because it reminds me of the store. Is this like the same store that Carly Beth found the haunted mask in? Like, is this one of those masks that might come to life? Is that a little teaser? Because this book came out way after the haunted mask did. So yeah, I just thought that might have been a little whatever. I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I should talk about this. I think I can talk about this now because the building is being demolished. So when I was in high school, I also was a breaker and enterer. One time with some friends, we went into this old brick building in town that was like huge, and it was falling apart, and it was definitely shut down, and I definitely broke and entered into it with my friends, and we definitely walked around it in the middle of winter, and the ceiling was falling in on itself, so it was freezing cold and covered in snow at some points. But it was scary as fuck. We found a circle of chairs in there, like somebody was playing, spin the bottle or something. I have a feeling they were probably not doing that. They were probably doing drugs. We also found what's that guy's name? I think it's Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. We found a little action figure of Jar Jar Binks tied with a cable to a giant pole. If I have the picture of that, Zabian, editing Zabian, please insert that here. That was crazy. But yeah, that was fun. So I see a lot of myself in Zackie is what I'm saying here. What I do, and we'll get more into that later. So Zackie goes into this building. He, like I said before, he finds this typewriter in there, and he is a writer, and he's like, oh my God, I really want to write a scary story on that thing. So he tries to steal it. When he touches it, he gets electrocuted, and it like makes him pass out. Oh, and it says that he sees like bright blue or whatever. I don't know. And yeah, he just wants to touch it and take it home so he can write scary stories on it. Like, that is called dedication to your craft. And this, like, his just desire to be a writer as such a young kid, it was extremely relatable to me because I was the same way. I wrote a lot when I was a kid. Like, even if it was just like ripping off other people's stories, which I definitely did, I would like write sequels to other children's books that have been published by other people. But I wrote one that was about like a little witch who wanted to adopt a pet, and she would like go visit her friends and family and see all their pets and go to the pet store and try adopting different pets or whatever, and they were all like scary pets, like a bat and a crocodile and like shit like that. And then at the end, she can't find the right pet for her. And one night when it's raining outside, he finds a little black cat scratching at her door, and she adopts the cute black cat while the rest of her friends and people that are also witches have like scary animals. Isn't that cute? I actually want to like publish that into a real children's book. I need to find that somewhere. But yeah, so Zackie is very relatable to me. I think that is so cool. I like reading about kids who have the same desires that I had when I was a kid. It's very cool. So while they're after he passes out, there's a shop owner who is named Mrs. Carter. She shows up and they think they're going to get in trouble, but she actually ends up letting him take the typewriter and a weird pen, like a writing pen, which is interesting, I guess. Okay, after that, Zackie takes the typewriter home, whatever. We then see him getting picked on at school, like bullied. Like I said, they have a friend named Adam who thinks that Zackie's stories are stupid and he's not scared of anything. And then there's these other girls named Emmy and Annie who are at school that are all mean to him for believing in monsters because that's what he like writes scary stories about. And they also, for some reason, like steal a mouse from the science room and put it in his locker. And he like freaks out because one of them crawls up his arm and like in his shirt and shit. And then they make fun of him for all of that, which is stupid. Even like Alex laughs at him when the mouse is in his shirt, which I get is kind of funny. Then after he's been bullied at school, Alex and Zackie are at Zackie's house, and he starts showing Alex the new Blob story that he's drafted out, that he wrote with his new pen, and then on the typewriter he writes like the final draft. So while they're there, he starts drafting out the story, and everything that he types seems to start happening in real life. Like it says it was a dark and stormy night, and then a big storm starts and the power goes out. It says the wind began to howl, and then the wind in real life picked up and howled. And then during this, Zackie gets very introspective, as like completely introspective about writing in general. And he says at one point, he says something along the lines of like, maybe I write scary stories because I know what it feels like to be scared of things. And I think that is so cool. You write what feels authentic to you, bitch. You take back that power that fear holds against you. You get 'em, Zackie. You're a champion. So yeah, there was just some nice social commentary there about like him being a scaredy cat and being scared of things, but also like writing about the things that scare him and making it something cool. Good for you, Zackie. So then more writing that he does continues to come true. It says that Zackie and Alex were alone in the house because he writes about himself and his friends. And then when it says they're alone in the house, Zackie's dad, who was at home, disappears. And then they say Adam showed up and knocked on the door just to see if like the things that he's typing are actually coming true. And then Adam shows up and knocks on the door. Then they type that the storm stopped and everything was quiet. And then that happened in real life. So now Zackie and Alex believe that the typewriter controls everything, but Adam, who is now at Zackie's house, does not. And then behind their backs, he types that the blob monster from Zackie's story is waiting for fresh meat in the basement on the typewriter. And then he runs out of the house. Adam's a dick. Adam's a stupid fucking asshole dick kid. So after this, Zackie and Alex go investigate, and they discover that his dad was actually in the basement trying to turn the power back on. So he was not gone. They just couldn't find him. They further investigate the basement and discover that there's no monster. So they conclude that they were wrong and that everything was just a coincidence, I guess. Then Alex goes home. Now it's a Saturday. Zackie's mom asks him to go to the store to get her some stuff that she needs or whatever. There was one part where he's thinking about how he can get himself things too, and he says, I love to eat Pop-Tarts raw, and I just was I was made so uncomfortable by that, because what do you mean eating them raw Pop-Tart? Would you like to what? I don't think so. Raw What do you mean raw? I don't know. He shows up to Jack's, a grocery store, and we meet the iconic Mrs. Jack, who works at the store, and she hates children because they steal from her. So she's always really rude to children in her grocery store. I think that is so fucking funny. Oh yeah, Zackie says that when he walks in the store, she gave him a disgusted look just for walking in the door. Iconic. I love him. I love her. I love Mrs. Jack. Then they're at the store, or he's at the store and finds out that Adam, Annie, and Emmy are there, the kids from school, and they play a prank on him, and they make fun of him for the typewriter like controlling them because Adam was there and knows that Zackie fell for that. And this, it turns out, him getting picked on for this in the grocery store is his villain origin story. And this is actually pretty cool because we kind of see Zackie turn into an anti-hero. Former English major brain. Well, I guess I was a former English education. Never mind. So Zackie is so pissed that he got bullied that when he gets home, he writes a Blob Monster story on the typewriter without drafting it first. Now, remember, we're supposed to think that the typewriter doesn't control everything here. But he writes about the monster eating the entire town alive. And he says, I was paying back the whole town. For bullying him. And if Zackie is anything like childhood Zabian, this made me think this, if Zackie is anything like I was when I was a kid, his family would read something like that and then tell him to his face later that they always thought he was going to be a serial killer, because that is a personal experience that I had. Hey, anyone else's family told them that they thought they were going to be a serial killer as a kid? Anyone? Just me? Is that a unique experience to only myself? Awesome. So yeah, that gave me very much young, angry Zabian vibes. I love this kid so much. He also in the story writes that he specifically writes about 2 police officers in town trying to stop the monster and then getting eaten by it. Zackie is an ACAB icon. So funny. Okay, so while he's writing, Zackie's mom tells him that he forgot to get something at the store and now he has to go back to the store to get it, which is so fucking annoying. Like, what could she possibly be doing that she couldn't just go and get it herself? What? I sound like fucking, what's his name? The guy from the Chiefs that just insulted every woman at a graduation ceremony. Y'all saw that, right? That was crazy. But like, for real, just leave the kid alone. He's pissed. So he goes out, and when he leaves, he discovers, dun dun dun, that his new story is coming true. There's a blob monster in town that's trying to eat everyone. Oh no, not eat me, no. Okay, so then he acknowledges this, and then the monster sees him and tries to eat him, but his writing plays out even more because 2 police officers come and try to save him, and they get eaten. And Zackie says, And then the blob monster follows him home. He starts running home, obviously. And the blob monster follows him. And when he's on his way home, he runs into Adam and Alex. And it eats Adam, which is such a slay because Adam's the dick that's been making fun of him for this whole book. And yeah, now he's eaten by the blob monster. I just took a drink and it reminded me that I need to show you my picture for the day, which is now appropriate. So as we see here, for my picture of the day, not to break up the plot in such a moment of suspense and horror, but here we have my blob monster according to the description of Zackie. It's a pink blob with like veins and stuff, and it has like a place in the center of its body where it just breaks open and it ends up being its mouth, and it has a big black tongue. And I realized that the tongue just kind of looks like it looks like a smaller black blob monster in front of the pink one. It looks like a turd. It could be anything, but that's its tongue, I promise. And then I did also write ACAP on it, just because, it's it supports Black Lives Matter. Anyways, that's my picture for the day. Moving back into the horror and suspense of the Blob That Ate Everyone. Zackie and Alex are now back at his house. They make it back up to his bedroom, and he wants to try and write the monster away on the typewriter. But the monster, sneaky little son of a gun, it follows them into his room, and it eats the typewriter and the magic pen. Oh my God. How the fuck are we supposed to get rid of this thing now? I hear you all asking, because this is riveting suspense and horror. I should start narrating this as if like it's like an old radio not talk show. Like how they used to tell stories on the radio. What are we supposed to do now in this moment of great suspense for Zachary and his friend Alexis? So yeah, it eats him. No, it doesn't eat him. No, it doesn't. This is where it gets pretty fucking cheesy and corny, and I'm gonna need you all to bear with me right now because it is kind of cute, but it is cheesy and corny as fuck. Zackie realizes that maybe the power is not in the typewriter or the magic pen. Maybe the power is in me. Oh. This is cute, but it's very corny and very cheesy, and I hate corny and cheesy shit. Zackie. So yeah, he realizes that maybe the power is in himself and not in the magic typewriter, which is cute. Believe in yourself. Be yourself for your pride. Be who you are. Anyways. So yeah, Zackie then imagines that the monster has disappeared, and it does. And everything goes back to normal. Everything is totally fine after that. And it seems that would be the end of the book. But there's one more chapter. And this chapter is probably the biggest plot twist in any of these books that we have read thus far. The plot twist is that this entire story about Zackie and his typewriter is actually a story written in another universe by a blob monster, like one of Zackie's blob monsters. And this pink blob monster is showing this story that he wrote to his friend. So we've been reading a story about a blob monster written by a blob monster being shown to another blob monster. Jesus Christ. And it's showing it to its blob monster friend, and its friend gives back the piece of feedback that everyone should get eaten in the end of the story. Like, all the people should get eaten at the end of the story because, and I quote, everyone loves a happy ending. Which is so funny and cool. I love it. I loved it. Work. And that's the end of the story. That's the end of the Blob That Ate Everyone. That was just so cunty and cool. I loved it. It was so good. I loved that plot twist. This book was good. I didn't remember that at all, and I read this book as a kid. I knew that this book was good, but like it lived up to what I remembered it being. I loved this book. So that's my review. That's pretty much my little over whatever. I don't know. That's what I had to say about the story. And now we move on to everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Let me take a drink first. Okay. No, I'm chewing on seeds again. Hold on. Okay. Time to move on to everyone's favorite part of the podcast. That's my drum roll. The numbers. Yay! The numbers. I love the numbers. Woohoo! That's my favorite part. I hear you all saying that's so exciting. I'm so excited to provide the numbers for you on this book. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, they are good. So for the spookiness of the concept, we always start here. This is where we're starting today. This is where we'll continue to start. And we're not going to change that for anyone. For society, for men, who do you think I am? I'm not changing that for anybody. The spookiness of the concept of this book got a 4 out of 5 from me. It's about a scary typewriter that brings blob monsters to life. Iconic, original, and it's a pretty freaky idea, so it gets a good old 4 out of 5. The villain in the story, the blob monster, 4.5 out of 5. A blob monster whose only mission in life is to just eat people is so horrifying and so funny at the same time. But he loses half a point because he does have some sort of a lack of agency, because his existence does rely on the imagination of a child. So, like, the fact that he can be controlled to do whatever because of a child, you lose a little bit of a fear factor from me. So you get 4.5 out of 5, Blob Monster. The reader's tolerance of the protagonist, 5 out of 5. I really, really, really love Zackie. I loved him so much. He reminded me so much of myself when I was a kid. It was just very enjoyable to read his story about being a very young, creative kid who likes scary shit. I loved it. I loved Zackie so much. Probably one of my favorite narrators, if not my favorite narrator in the entire series so far. Plot twist and resolution. Bitch, I gave a 5 out of 5 as well. I was not expecting this shit. I was expecting the whole book to like be another one of Zackie's stories or something like that. But R.L. Stine really, really got me by making it a blob monsters story. I was not expecting that at all. I thought that this was such good creativity that he brought to the table so late in his series. This is book number 55 out of 62. Like, we've read books that came out before this that were so much less creative. This was so good. I loved it so much. Good job, R.L. Stine. This was amazing. Underlying messages and social commentary, I gave a 3.5 out of 5 because Zackie's realization about the power being in himself and not the typewriter is very sweet and inspiring, but it is also, as I put in my outline, a little Walt Disney. It's so cringy and corny, but it's cute. And then lastly, did I get ... Goosebumps? No, I did not. It was very freaky though. So just no extra half point for this book, which it really doesn't need it. Spoiler alert. So when we find the average score of this book, we get a 4.4 out of 5, which is very high. So high, in fact, that this book is now officially in second place in the official ratings, which I find so much more appropriate, because I said what? Deep Trouble was in second place? Yeah, that book needed to get knocked out to pick. This book was so good. This is definitely, I'm very happy with its placement. I think it could have even taken first place for me, but you needed a little more social commentary for me, R.L. Stine. A little bit more. So yeah, that was such a good comeback from the last episode when we talked about It Came From Beneath the Sink, because that book fucking sucked and this book fucking rocked. So I'm very happy with this. I hope you all enjoyed this review of The Blob That Ate Everyone. Like I said, we kept it calm. We kept it pretty chill. Timothy Chalamet, Intrusive Thought. Let's play that again. Timothy Chalamet. I think that that's probably one of the funniest things I've ever made in my life. I think that is so funny, and I'm probably the only person who does, but that's okay. If you liked this episode of the podcast, if you're watching it on YouTube, leave a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. And you can turn notifications on for when I upload new videos, because Lord knows it's not consistently. And if you're listening to it, I think you can still leave a rating on this episode, follow my channel, or subscribe to my channel, whatever. I like to upload videos whenever I want to now. And also word of mouth. Maybe tell a friend if you like the podcast so much. You say, hey, what's a good podcast you like? You say, hey, Things That Go Bump. It's an amazing Goosebumps review podcast hosted by a very nice person. Tell a friend, phone a friend, subscribe, and rate/like my episodes. If you want to follow me on any of my personal socials, or if you want to support my small art business called wherefore.art.thou by Z, all the links are in the description of this episode below. You know where to find them. They're below. I just said that. And that's it. That's everything I have to say. This has been episode 11 of Things That Go Bump. bitch. So until next time, keep it loosey, number 1, and number 2, stay goosey. See you next time. Bye.